Opposition leader Juan Guaido calling for another day of protests as he attempts to overthrow Nicolas Maduro from power. And clashes have broken out between pro-Guaido and pro-Maduro protesters right here in the district over who should have access to the country's embassy. That's where we're going to find Rachel Blevins. She's outside the embassy with all the latest details. Rachel?
I'm here outside of the Venezuelan embassy in Washington, D.C., where today protesters who came out in support of opposition leader Juan Guaido are facing off against a group of activists who have been living in this embassy for 3 weeks now. And they say that they are here to protect the building for the government of President Nicolas Maduro. Now, so far today, we have seen some clashes between protesters. We have also seen a very heavy police presence out here, which includes around a dozen Secret Service vehicles and other unmarked police cars. Now, this follows a very rowdy scene that happened here yesterday where protesters who were supporting Guaido were seen surrounding the building, blocking entrances at times and yelling at the activists inside. Now, Guaido's representative to the U.S. did show up and he attempted to give a speech here yesterday on the steps of the building, but he was drowned out by the activists inside the building and he eventually left without successfully accessing the embassy. Now, this comes as Juan Guaido is renewing calls for more protests across the nation in Venezuela today, and we've seen violent clashes between police and protesters on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, Wednesday's clashes didn't bring out quite as many protesters, and reports noted that they basically died out by late afternoon, but members of the National Guard still used tear gas on the crowds. Now, President Nicolas Maduro has claimed victory over what he called a failed attempt at a coup, and he is also calling for unity among the military, and he is warning the military to be prepared to combat traitors and the opposition. Now, we also saw hundreds of protesters come out in support of Maduro, and the elected leader is now saying that he wants to hold a day of dialogue this weekend to talk about mistakes made by his government. Now, back here in the U.S., officials who support ousting Maduro have been very vocal about the fact that they say all options are on the table in this fight, and they are now saying that those options include U.S. military action in Venezuela. Now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is claiming that Maduro is taking directions directly from Russia, and he's saying that foreign influences are playing a big part in the fact that Maduro is still in power. But National Security Advisor John Bolton said that Maduro is actually receiving support from Cuba in the numbers of thousands of troops. Now, a top Cuban diplomat addressed that claim, and he said that there are no Cuban troops in Venezuela right now and that Cuba is not engaged in any security operations. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We have said publicly and repeatedly that there are no troops, there is no militia from Cuba in Venezuela. Cuba does not participate in military operations nor in security operations in Venezuela. Those statements are totally false.
Now, here at the embassy, we have seen a very heavy Secret Service presence with agents going around conducting surveillance, taking images of the people who are out here, and even setting up barricades to keep the protesters away from one another. So this is a situation that we will continue to cover, and we will bring you all of the latest updates. Reporting from outside the Venezuelan embassy in Washington, D.C., Rachel Blevins, RT.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.